When the infant Abaddon was bathed in the font, they say something went terribly wrong. As the black mist enveloped him, a strange light flickered in his eyes, one that startled all those who stood by. It wasn't the usual reaction. It was something far more intense, far more knowing. The sacerdotes, the spiritual guardians of the house, could feel it, a shift in the air. Whispers began to spread quickly. This child was different. The air was thick, with an ominous feeling, a sense that something ancient had awoken within him. Abaddon was raised to follow the path set before every scion of House Avernus, to train in war, to wield weapons, and when the time came, to lead the family's forces in defense of their ancestral lands. The house's strength had always come from the font, the mystical crack in the earth from which the vapors of prophetic power rose. These vapors gave every Avernus born a deep connection to the mystic forces of the land. They grew up believing themselves fierce protectors of their traditions, guardians of the realm's customs. But Abaddon, he was different from the start. While others spent their days learning the art of battle, Abaddon chose a different path. He shunned the weapons and armor that his peers trained with. Instead, he spent hours in meditation, surrounded by the mist that drifted from the font. He sought not mastery with sword and shield, but mastery over the very energies that flowed from the land beneath their feet. Abaddon drank deep from the vapors, learning to attune his spirit to the power that pulsed from the font itself. Slowly, he became something else, something more. He became a creature of the mist, fused with its essence. This caused tension within the House of Avernus. The elders, both young and old, grew frustrated with Abaddon. They accused him of neglecting his duties, of turning his back on the tradition of warriors that had always been the foundation of their family. The whispers of disapproval only grew louder with time, but Abaddon paid them no heed. He was determined to walk his own path, even if it led him down a road they didn't understand. Then came the day of battle. The time for words was over. The House of Avernus found itself in a brutal conflict, and Abaddon, despite all the accusations, was called to fight. The warriors of the house had always been formidable, but when Abaddon rode into battle, it was clear that something had changed. The powers he had unlocked through his connection to the mist were unlike anything the house had ever seen. He moved with a grace and purpose that seemed to defy the natural world. Life and death itself seemed to bend to his will. It was no longer just about strength in battle. Abaddon wielded a power far more profound, far more terrifying. His mastery over life and death was total. His enemies fell before him, not just slain by sword or arrow, but consumed by the very forces of the mist itself. The house watched in stunned silence as Abaddon proved himself a force to be reckoned with, a lord not just of warriors, but of life itself. And from that moment on, all the doubts, all the accusations, faded into nothing. Abaddon had proven that the mist had chosen its heir, that the true power of House Avernus now rested in his hands. He had become the Lord of Avernus, the embodiment of the font's dark power. The house would never be the same again, and neither would the world.